Hi, Steve Grant from Gym Hub. Today I wanted to share with you 16 rules for running a fitness business. I've been fortunate enough to have 2 gyms, each for 8 years. Each of them we managed to get to that $80,000 a month run rate within the first 18 months, which obviously helps to take a lot of pressure off financially. It also makes it a bit more fun because you get a small team sort of around you. It means you don't have to work as many hours. So I encourage you, if you're a fitness business owner, grab a pen out. These are things that have served me well over the years, and I hope they're useful for you as well. So number 1, charge what you are worth. So the easiest and fastest way for you to increase revenue, but also profit in your fitness business, is to increase your prices. A fitness business should increase your prices annually to offset things like inflation, but also the increase in things like rent and wages. And regardless of whether you're in like the 24-hour market, the group training market that charge a little bit more, or even the personal training market, it's important that you're actually charging at that sort of top end. So if it's $20 a week in a 24-hour gym, it's crazy to be charging $12 a week. If the majority of people are charging about $20, make sure you're at that top end. The same for group training, charge $65 a week if that's sort of the top end of the market. If it's personal training, charge $140 an hour if that's sort of the top end of the market for you. But charge what you are worth. You then have the means to maintain and look after and secure good staff. You have the means to advertise, you have the means to update equipment, you have the means to take holidays. It all comes from charging what you're worth. Number 2 is build an audience first and add value before you ask for a sale. So an important thing to do here in marketing is go onto places like YouTube and Instagram and think of things that you can provide education and resources on that's valuable to your target market. What most people, including myself, don't like is being sold to. So what I encourage gym owners to do is make sure your first point of contact, the first time you actually meet someone online, you're actually giving them some type of value. So you're giving them like 3 stretches to help reduce lower back pain, or you're giving them 5 tips that will help them to lose body fat over summer. Now, when the relationship starts from a giving point of view, when they associate your brand to someone that's added value, that was quite useful, they start to form an opinion, of a positive one. There's a little bit of goodwill there, and they're far more likely to actually do business with you down the track if they require the services of a gym or a trainer or something like that. The mistake many gyms do is we don't really market, and then once every now and then we go out and say, hey, come and buy our stuff. And obviously that falls into the we don't like to be sold to. And it's really expensive on things like Facebook and Google to advertise to a cold audience. If at the moment you're finding that people don't answer, they book in on Facebook and then they don't actually answer the phone when you call them, that's because you're going to a cold audience and you're saying, buy my stuff. If we start with something of high value, we develop some credibility with them and then ask them to come and buy something, they answer the phone, but they're also far more progressed through the buying cycle and more likely to buy your product. Number 3 is invest into your fitness business. So what I encourage you to do if you're about to set up a gym, or even if you're currently in a gym, is make sure you've actually gone to the bank, borrowed some money, or borrowed some money from friends and family so you can run this fitness business the way it deserves to be run. So you've got a marketing budget to run ads and attract people on Facebook for the first 3 to 6 months before you start making money. So you've got money to pay rent, you've got money for uniforms, you've got money for things like signage. I think a common mistake here is we try and do things on a shoestring budget, and as a result, we sort of open the doors, but we don't have enough money or means to get staff in or members in. So unfortunately, we've only sort of given ourselves enough investment of time and money to open the doors, but not enough to actually fill it. Number 4 is invest into yourself. Through the years of running a fitness business, I've come to the opinion that we either pay through time or money. So a lot of my peers, a lot of people that I've met in the fitness industry, if I go to Filex or these fitness conventions, will often have run their business for 5 years more than me or 10 years more than me. And what I've sort of noticed is that just because someone's in the industry longer doesn't mean that they know more or they've had more success than you or I. It simply means that in many cases they've done the same year over and over and over. So I think there's 2 ways to do it. The time one is sort of trial and error. It's where you get a few ideas and you think, oh, I know a good idea for marketing, and you spend some money and then you go, oh, that didn't actually work. It was quite expensive to run, flyers in my local area. Oh, well, it was quite expensive to do a video Facebook ad. I didn't quite know how to sort of set it up. The other way to do it is you can obviously invest in time or money. So money-wise, you can find yourself a coach, find someone that actually knows how to do digital marketing, someone that knows how to do ad copy, someone that knows how to advertise for good stuff, someone that knows how to, like, the best types of questioning to interview your team and how to onboard stuff. If you can save time and you can streamline your process by investing into yourself. What I mean by that is either in time or money. My preference, if I can do in 10 months what many people do in 10 years, I will definitely invest money-wise, and I'll put someone in my life that can actually help me to shortcut that, who has the experience and has that sort of know-how, so I can avoid all that sort of frustration of trial and error. Number 5 is build a great team and invest into them weekly. So running any type of service business is quite tiring. I find in many cases our members are wonderful and they're appreciative of our time and effort, and they'll be the first to come and give you a present at Christmas and thank you if they get a great result. But like in any customer service, we also have people that complain, or there's things that go wrong, and it's tiring and it's quite difficult. What I've found is you can only do so much by yourself. So building a team not only helps you to fulfill, so you can actually do more sales calls, or you can have more classes or more members actually inside of your gym who are happy, but you can also enjoy the process along the way. Now, part of this is actually having the right people in your team. If you want to hire someone that knows how to do all of that type of stuff, it's going to cost you $100,000 plus. And most small businesses don't have that. So my recommendation is get someone with a bit of experience, get someone with a great attitude, someone who aligns with your values for the business, and then develop them. So book in like a team meeting where you work on marketing, sales, and teams. You work on customer service, you work on nutrition, but actually invest and teach them something. I know personally that if I meet with my team 1 hour a week, there's 52 hours over the year that make my team better than the gyms across the road. And it's that customer service that can't be replicated elsewhere. Sure, someone can, if I do yoga, they could do yoga, or if I do a challenge, they could do a challenge. But what they can't replicate is the experience and the actual expertise of the team. And that's why I like investing into the team. And I also like that there's a real quality associated with the people that are wearing the jersey, and you can be really proud in the jersey that you wear. Number 6 is streamline your sales process. So early in my fitness career, I remember paying for a course. It was pretty traditional, like American sales. I think the system was created for like a Fitness First or something like that. And you were taught all these tricky ways to overcome objections. And if I'm honest, some of it was useful because we did lots of role playing, and I think one of the best habits that I took away from it was investing time into it weekly to get better and just kind of practicing what I wanted to say. What I didn't like was that kind of pushy feel. What I didn't like was that there was like 12 steps to it. So the first thing I did after that sales course is I went back, I stripped out half of the steps. I increased the amount of authenticity so I could actually make it feel authentic and a little bit unique to my business. And by making it easier, I found that a whole heap of my staff all of a sudden were interested in taking part because they weren't required to sort of replicate that kind of traditional big box sales douchebag kind of persona. They could be themselves, they could talk about what they love about the facilities, they could talk about their favorite class, they could give like specific tips on fat loss or strength on how to get from A to B, and they're actually helping people rather than just selling. What I found is that sales wasn't a drudgery, it wasn't hard to get people involved. For that reason, I've been able to get my entire team involved in the sales process, and it's a process that we enjoy. So make it easier, make it more authentic, and make it more streamlined so it's easier to learn and therefore much less barrier to entry for your team to get involved in so that they will. Number 7 is get feedback from your members. So one thing I like to do every quarter is send an SMS out to my members with a link that goes to a Google form and ask for their feedback. Now, not all members will respond, particularly if you do things like a written request for feedback, or if you do an email. Most emails go to like junk mail. However, if we send an SMS, we know that 100% of people will get that. If we send a nice short link that goes to like a Google form, we make sure there's 10 or less questions there, we know the percentage of people that are going to participate in it because it's easy and because it's fast is a lot higher. And the last tip I'll give there is if you can encourage people to take part by incentivizing them. So you might say, hey, please take 2 minutes to leave a quick feedback on what you like about the gym and what we can improve on, and go in the draw to win a $100 Westfield voucher. So they feel like it's quick, they feel like they can also get something themselves by sharing feedback. Of course, if you get feedback and it's negative feedback, I would recommend jumping on the phone and actually thanking people for their feedback, asking a few more questions and seeing, is there something from that feedback I can use to make my business better? Regardless, even if it's positive feedback, thank people for taking the time. What I've found in the fitness industry is we treat our business like our babies. It's so easy to be just offended if someone, criticizes their cleanliness or the music choice or our trainers or something. It's almost like criticizing my kids. And because we take offense, we sometimes cannot hear the feedback and do with it like what we're intended to do. So my recommendation here is get regular feedback. So every 3 months, do it via SMS so you get a high participant rate. Incentivize people to do it so you get more people, not just the people that like you, but the people that have negative feedback. Don't be scared to jump on the phone and actually get further information if it's helpful, and then A, take that information back to your team so that you can get better, and B, make sure to thank people for giving you their time and giving their honest feedback, because it's only their perception is their reality. So if they believe your bathrooms aren't that clean, that's their reality. Whether you believe it or not, it isn't that as important. Look for trends. If one person out of 500 says that there's a problem with X, that may not be such an issue. But if 5 people say the exact same thing, that a trainer comes late to a class, or that the equipment is tired or something like that, that is real feedback. It almost like your members are essentially an extension of your family. That's real feedback from family who care about you. And the only reason they gave you feedback is because they want to be better. They want to hang around. Generally, people don't give feedback that leave. There's no real benefit in that other than hurting your feelings. So if a member stays and then criticizes you, it's because they're saying, hey, I would love to stay around, but if I just don't like this one thing about the business, and I think that's an opportunity to get better. Number 8 is create a 12-month retention calendar. I know on Instagram, on YouTube, it's super popular to talk about lead generation and funnels, and I find it quite exhausting. I think there's far less focus on things like member retention, like just looking after the people who are already members. What I like to do is on one page is come up with a 12-month retention calendar. I like to put things in there in advance, like challenges which will engage my members and help them get great results. I like to put in like social events, like a Christmas party or a barbecue or a trivia night, or things which like get our members talking to each other and allow them to have a little bit of like fun. I like to do things like education. So it could be that we bring in like a guest speaker to teach people how to train for the city to surf or a half marathon. It could be that, you know, there's a pop-up store with a local clothing brand or something that's, you know, fitness related. So the important thing here, I believe, is to make sure you've got something throughout the year to educate, to engage, and to entertain your members. And if in previous years you look at your data and you've had a period there where there's mass exodus, and it could be like winter, and you think, all right, July and August, a lot of my members left last year, what we need to do is take action. We actually need to put something in place at that time of the year to show our members that we care, to show that we're actually, you know, genuinely interested in them, and add value and keep them actually like engaged in the brand, and they will stay and they will refer friends and they will continue to be part of your business. Tip number 9 for running a successful fitness business is delegating the $10 an hour activities. So in order to have time to do like the $1,000 an hour activities, like hiring a manager or like going to a partner business and setting up like a joint venture, or setting up an evergreen offer, like some type of funnel where there's like video ads that go through to an email automation, like those things take time, but they are genuinely worth $1,000 or potentially $10,000 or $100,000 when you do them right. Now, in order to do that, we've got to stop vacuuming the studio and doing those $10 an hour activities. We've got to stop doing data entry into our financial software and allow someone else to do that. I use a VA to do things like draft my email newsletter each week. I use a VA to help to schedule like 7 social media posts for the week ahead. And I think by delegating data entry, by delegating cleaning, by delegating marketing, admin, and support, you will free up your time, but also that space in your head for problem solving and attacking those parts of your business will actually make a difference and move it forward, enable you to attract more members, potentially to also increase your profit margin. So delegate the $10 an hour activities. And yeah, that could be cleaning, but it could also be things like, you know, changing the font color on your website or updating your group training timetable. None of that stuff makes any difference in your business and can easily be delegated to someone else. Number 10 is spending at least 1 hour per week planning in your business. So the process that I've used for the last few years is where I get outside of the 4 walls of the gym. I go to a cafe or to a park or somewhere where I can actually get a change of scenery and where I won't be interrupted. And I actually plan out 3 things. So number 1 is I'll plan out the numbers in my business. Number 2 is I look at meetings for the week ahead. And then number 3 is marketing. So in terms of the numbers, I never like surprises. I like to make decisions around the types of education my staff have or the types of changes to my marketing based on the numbers. So it's not my opinion. It's not like, oh, I get frustrated because one member said something and then I change my direction. but instead I use the actual data. So the data that means the most in a fitness business that you want to grab every single week is total leads, total sales, and then have a look at total cancels in your business. Those three numbers will give you a bit of a health check. It'll enable you to avoid any surprises because you'll see it every single week. And if things start to go a little bit off track, it's actually quite easy and quite fast to get it back on track. If you don't check these numbers and you look at them every month or every quarter, you might find that you didn't make a lot of money in winter. You may find that what you've been paying staff was too high and you've actually been losing money the last couple of months, which can put you into a position of real scarcity and stress where all of a sudden you're not quite sure how you're going to be paying your mortgage and things like that. So number one is do your numbers. Number two is think about the meetings that you've got for the week ahead. Do some dot point planning so that when you go into those meetings, they run to time, that they feel organized and professional so that the person on the other side of the table feels like it was worthwhile. So it feels like they're clear about what they need to be doing in the week ahead, but it also feels like it's been a really, really good use of your time. In my opinion, if you're planning a team meeting each week, if you're planning a management meeting, so a meeting with your manager, or even if these are like a one-on-one catch-up with your staff, there's no point doing it for 45 minutes if you can do it for 20 minutes. The rookies doing these will actually start late in their team meeting and then they will fluff around. There'll be no real direction or agenda that they're following. There'll be no notes taken. There'll be no one else involved in the meeting. There'll be no education. Instead, it'll just be like boring updates of, hey, don't forget this Thursday, we're starting our challenge. These types of meetings are the ones that your staff get sick of. They really don't need to be there face to face. They don't enjoy coming. They don't feel like they get any benefit. They don't grow. They don't learn anything by being there. And therefore you start to get a bit of resistance. You get low energy and participation in them. And I think it all comes back to the fact that we didn't on a Friday actually remove ourselves from the business and plan. So remember, we're doing three things. It takes up to an hour. Number one is check your numbers. Number two is map out at the very least dot points for your meetings for the week ahead. And then number three is revisit your marketing. So every single one of us should have a bit of a marketing plan in place. Remember, a campaign is not a Facebook ad, but it's actually advertising an offer or a promotion across multiple mediums. So a campaign is when we come up with a promotion. It could be 10 days for $10 or something. We run that with like videos and textiles and things on Facebook. We've got emails going out to the database. We've got SMSs, we've got signage, we've got updates of like the banner on the website, but everything's actually connected and consistent, and it's only one offer. We're never promoting two things. We're always looking to think about, well, if this promotion actually connects with our target audience, if some people have bought it in the first few weeks, what we know is on that Friday when we're planning, if we can just increase the number of people who see that promotion, we're going to get more leads and more sales and more members inside of our gym. So on a Friday, I'll go back to whatever my current promotion is and I'll go, okay, how are my Facebook ads going? How many leads have we had from like walk-ins, from signage, from referrals and things this week? And what levers do I need to pull to make sure this marketing campaign is performing at its best? In some cases, I might just need to schedule like an SMS to go out, and that might take 15 minutes to say, all right, this is my SMS, bulk SMS out to my group. And that might be the only action I need to take that week. And again, I'll revisit marketing as step number 3 in my planning process the following week. So that's the 1 hour of planning. For me, if you plan an hour and you plan properly, it can save you up to 10 hours a week. It has been years and years since I worked a 40-hour or a 60-hour week inside of my gym. And one of the reasons why I can successfully do that is because I use that powerful 1-hour planning process on a Friday. You might do it on a Sunday or whatever. Personally, I've got my phone off. I'm with family on a Sunday. I love to do it on a Friday. I love to do it outside of the gym. It helps me to feel a bit more creative, and of course, it's going to be a more effective hour and it's going to be more productive if you can stay in flow, your phone's not ringing, and you're not having people sort of knock on your door and interrupt. So remove yourself from the space so you can do it uninterrupted. Number 11 is build your fitness business to sell. Now, this sounds a little bit negative, almost like you don't like your business, or that maybe you can't handle your business, or it's not doing well, but it's in fact quite the opposite. If we build our business to sell, generally what we're thinking about is how can we make it profitable? How can we make it run effectively without having huge participation or hourly input from the owner? And how can we have it just tidy and ready to look at for a potential buyer? When I treated my first business as if at some point it was going to sell, it all of a sudden became attractive to potential buyers. When I removed myself from a lot of the day-to-day operations, when I was going in sort of Monday to Thursday till lunchtime, when people looked at those hours, that became quite attractive. And it was like, hey, I'm a corporate, I'm a member of the gym. Hey Steve, would you consider ever selling this or taking on investors? Because they could see it was far nicer lifestyle that I had than this kind of corporate lifestyle they had. So when I'm talking about preparing your business for sale, keep in mind that fitness businesses are priced or valued based on a multiple of your profit. So one of the first things you want to do is make sure your business is profit. Obviously, two things factored in there is you've got enough members and cash flow coming in. And then number two is you don't have any ridiculous expenses or things that are going out the door. You'll never save enough money to make your business profitable. So the one you always start with is selling enough memberships and having enough people in there. If you feel like this process is crazy, no one would even consider buying your business right now, it's probably because they wouldn't. It's probably because you're in the business 60 hours a week. It's probably because you don't take much money out of it. It's probably because most of the IP sort of sits in your head. So what I encourage you to do is just start ticking one thing off at a time. Where would I start? If your business is a bit of a mess, if it's not something that would sell at any point right now, start by actually investing into your marketing, get more people in as members, and get your revenue up. That would be step number one. Number two is start investing into the people and the systems in your business and removing yourself. If you're working in a business 60 hours a week, no one's gonna buy it. No one wants to inherit your tiring, exhausting kind of, where you feel chained to your business. So developing your manager or a senior trainer to do sales, putting in processes on how you answer the phone, how you tour people when they come in, processes on what you do when you onboard a new member. These are things that can be replicated and enable the business to be successful when you're not there now, but also enables the business to be successful when the new owner comes in to buy it. Other things to consider here is making sure that your brand online presence is nice and clean and it's quite large. So you've got a large number of Google rankings, your website's up to date, making sure you've got some good content. And this is an attractive, modern looking brand that someone's going to be interested in actually looking at. Number 12 is forget about expensive SEO and paying someone to actually work behind the scenes on search engine optimization, and instead get hundreds of Google reviews. And to do that, we just want to go out to our existing members. We want to make it nice and easy. Use Bitly or a free software online to make sure there's a nice little link that you can send via SMS and ask your members to leave you a review. If you have hundreds of Google reviews, you're gonna rank well on Google without paying someone to do SEO for you. If you've got hundreds of 5-star Google reviews, people will see those before they come in. Instead of them being like a 3 out of 10 ready to buy, they'll be a 6 out of 10. They'll probably have a few more questions. They'll want to look at your facilities, maybe ask some questions about your programming or your trainer's experience or something, but they're far more like progressed through the buying cycle, because like I do with restaurants, you generally go on and actually check Google before you start, before you inquire, before you come in and purchase, and that's going to work in your favor. Do you need like paid ads on Google? Well, only if you're not ranking well on SEO. So if you do a search that says, you know, gym near me, or personal training with your suburb name, or group fitness your suburb name, and you don't come up first, that's something you could potentially pay for. But you only pay on Google for paid ads until you're ranking properly organically. When you do it organically, it doesn't cost you anything moving forward, and you can stop the payment there and use that payment somewhere else where it could be better used. So we don't run Google paid ads at the moment because we rank in the top 3 to sort of 10 on the top 20 search terms, not just in my suburb, but in the suburbs around us. How do we do that? There's a couple of ways, but one of them is making sure you've got hundreds of 5-star Google reviews. Number 13 is to use the power of video. So a couple of years ago, video seemed quite daunting, and it was almost optional for gym owners. So some would do it, some wouldn't, but those days have changed. If you have a gym, you need to be using video. You need a video that's high resolution, that's quality on your website, that explains who you are, who you're helping. Like, why did you get into the fitness industry? Who are you trying to help? You need to create short videos of like a minute or less on your phone each week, and you need to post them on places like Instagram. What Zuckerberg said and the Facebook, Instagram juggernaut mentioned is that they'll give you 6 times the organic reach of a video than you will on a post. So the mistake a lot of gym owners make is they try and come up with something every single day to post, and then they get 3 likes or like tiny amounts of engagement on there. My preference these days is do less, but do it better. So if I had the choice of doing 1 post every single day or just a video once a week, I would do the video, because Zuckerberg said we will get 6 times the organic reach. So it's not an optional anymore. It doesn't have to be crazy or expensive or anything like that. My recommendation is if you do a video on your website, don't make it just like footage of your facilities. Don't make it just people exercising, that type of rubbish we see too often. But instead, chat to the camera, introduce yourself, tell people who you are, what you stand for, and what makes your brand different. And yeah, get someone with a proper camera to do that one so it's in high res. For everything else, just do it on your phone. Think about video tips around nutrition, around exercise technique, around things that will help them to get better results. Make them, 1 to 3 minutes, post them on things like Instagram Reels, post them on Google Shorts, and with that regular content, better quality content, you'll start to get far more engaged people that are following you, that at some point are likely to reach out and do business with you, compared to just having thousands of people that haven't engaged in a post for ages, because it's all a little bit kind of boring. It's just another photo of a class, or it's just another generic kind of motivational quote and stuff that stopped working years ago. The power of videos, make sure we're using video. Number 14 is invest into some great software. So we're really fortunate we're in an era where a lot of the things that we want to do on a day-to-day basis, fortunately for us, have had some fancy tech billionaire over in San Francisco create an app that makes it super, super fast and easy for us to do it. So in my opinion, I think it's worthwhile investing, for $40 a month or $10 a month to get that software, so you can buy back your time. So I like apps, things like Canva are amazing for graphic design. If you're trying to design a DL flyer for letterboxes, if you're trying to design a Merry Christmas tile or a card to send out to your members, if you're trying to just look more professional with the types of things that you print or post online, Canva is a great way to do it. I use like financial software like Xero for accounting. It enables me to log in on my phone and get a live P&L at any time in the month. I can see how I'm tracking financially. I can take photos of my tax receipts, and it's just super easy to actually track things, which reduces the cost that I pay for my accountant each month or each year, but it also just enables it to be done on the move. So it reduces the time to actually have to go to a big box of receipts and drudgery of sort of tidying up all your finances. I love an app called BigView for recording video. This enables you, if you're new to video, to write out a little bit of a script. You can put it on your phone or on your iPad, and it's like a teleprompter, which enables you, if you've got a video that you just need to get right, you want to put on your website or something like that. If you've done 5 takes and you're not great or you're not too experienced at recording videos, BigView, B-I-G-V-U, is a great one, like teleprompter for beginners when it comes to video. Other software, I love Zoda as a fitness CRM. It's Australian based. There's hundreds of members using this now. Like things like MindBody Online, this can be used for like group training gyms or personal training studios or 24-hour gyms, but it's much cheaper. It's based in Australia, so you'll actually get an Australian get on the phone and give you a call. You don't have to wait sort of 4 days for someone in America to get back to you. It's not sort of owned like when I used to use MindBody, nothing against MindBody, but when they sold to private equity, they got rid of all the support staff, they put up all the prices, and for me it just didn't become financially viable to be spending that much for the software. So remember, I love software if it's low cost and it saves me time and effort, but to be spending that as my major investment just didn't make any sense. So yeah, for fitness software, I like the ability to sort of where people can come and check in with their phone, they can book classes, they can give feedback, they can interact with other members, we can track them in the sales process, we can do transactions for reoccurring billing, we can sell packages, we can link to things on like ClickFunnels if we want to sell a product for Valentine's Day. All of that you can get inside of Zoda. Yeah, if you think of any other good ones, be sure to go into the chat below, because yeah, softwares, I don't need all the softwares, I don't need everything, but a few of these can be a wonderful investment for time and to simplify your lifestyle. Number 15 is to consume content on Instagram or YouTube from a mentor or a content creator that you personally align with in terms of values. So if you are someone that catches yourself complaining about work-life balance, if you feel like you're overworked, if you feel like you'd like to be home earlier on a Friday to see your partner or to catch up with your friends or to have a surf and just have a bit more life, you have to consider following someone like Alex Hormozi all week. Hormozi, I'm sure, makes a shit ton of money, but this is a guy who married his #1 sales rep. He's a guy that works 7 days a week. He's a guy who, self-proclaimed that he won't have kids because it kind of interrupts with him making money and running his business. No criticism of Hormozi. If you're built that way and if that's your #1 focus, I'd say go for it. But if you watch that content all week and then you find yourself also extremely out of balance in terms of work-life balance, it won't surprise me, because the person you're following, the content you're following, is teaching you how to be busy, how to be obsessed with money, how to be only focused on that. and without those sort of things. I recommend find people that you align with. If you're a family person, find someone that has family values. If you want the ability to work less in your gym, find someone that's working less in their gym right now. If you want the ability to sell your gym for a profit at some time, find someone that's actually done that successfully already. If you want to be able to buy a house, travel overseas and have the cash flow to do it, find someone that's already done that. But the most important thing here is look for people that align with your values and look at how did they actually achieve the things that you want. That's gonna create that real synergy. It's congruent with your goals and you won't find yourself so busy and so frustrated all the time. So number 16, and my final tip for running a successful fitness business is get around other successful gym owners and raise your standards. So what I mean here is I think some of us can be too nice. I think we've got old habits of hanging out with, some no-hopers from school that all they want to do is just get blind drunk, or they just want to, smoke bongs and good luck to them if that's what they want to do. But what I'm getting at is you can't hang out with no-hopers on the weekend and then get to Monday and expect you're going to play like LeBron. Like there's the top of their industry, there's the people who are committed and it's who they are 7 days a week. I'm sure LeBron still has opportunities to go out with his wife and his family and they have beautiful dinners and they travel and they hang out, but he's that guy 7 days a week. My recommendation is when you're looking for improvements to your lifestyle or your fitness business, forget about tips from someone at a barbecue that owns a cafe. Forget about advice from your mate who's a builder or sitting at the pub next to you, because everyone's got good ideas and everyone sort of means well with it. And just try and choose the circle of influence that you're in. My recommendation, what I love to do, spend time around successful gym owners, not just gym owners, successful gym owners, and also raise your standards on who you want to be. To recap, don't spend time with no-hopers on the weekend. If you want to be LeBron come Monday, if you're going to perform at your best, you've got to be that sort of person throughout and align with those values 7 days a week. I'm Steve from Gym Hub. I love running a fitness business. I still have a gym in Sydney. Last year we won Most Outstanding Fitness Business Sydney in 2024. And I put that down to a bit of trial and error in the early days, but also to finding people who have had success in marketing and sales, in training and recruitment. For that reason, I only have to go into my business 2 mornings per week. It's a business that makes great money. It's a business that will sell for an amazing profit at some point. It's a business that because I'm not exhausted, because I'm not in there every single day, that I love, that I still feel really, this business we've had for 8 years, I still love going in. I love sort of participating. I love the members, and without sort of fatigue, without the frustrations of all like crazy hours, and with some real structure there, it's really enjoyable knowing that you've created something that's a real asset. It's something that will continue to make money and provide a good lifestyle for your family, but it's also something that's an asset that you can potentially sell at some point and pass the opportunity on to someone else. I hope these tips have been useful for you. If you're a fitness business owner and you need help with any aspect of your fitness business, please find me online or on Instagram on our website. Thanks, guys.